Welcome, 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 one and all, back to another episode of OPL Recaps. Sergeant Mike Bryan with my boy Livid underscore PD on all social medias, X, Instagram. Just follow my guy. Thank you for joining us once again. We know that you could have been anywhere, but we Livid, we got something crazy going on tonight. And I got a feeling that everything's going to be all right. Now, before we get too far into it, I want to say this, okay? OPL Recaps. We are the Men of the People. This is the People's Podcast. Thank you to our sponsors, Blue Line Smokes and this family. No one smokes alone. If you're looking for some nice cigars or accessories for cigars, the link will be pinned in the actual description when this posts. So now listen, before you go any further, I want to say this as well. On behalf of Jimmy Jams, myself, Liv, all our friends at OPL Recaps, we are not sponsored by the show. This is not the official OPL recaps page, anything like that. Okay. We are just fans of the show. We love being with you guys. We love to stay informed and drop some knowledge sometime. That's what we do in OPL recap. So do me a favor, right? Hit that like button, hit that share button, that subscribe button on this down there and below there. You know where it is. Come on, make it happen. So here we are, pre-show, 300th episode, and I expect some big things. Livid, how you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing well, Mike. I'm doing well. Maybe we should have some cigars tonight for 300. And we messed up.
I would have been here a little bit earlier, but I had to meet up with a friend of mine. We were at a specific place going over some of that stuff. We're always working towards something else. And we want to give a big shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you for tuning in. Of course, we got our faithfuls, we got our loyals, we got our day ones. DJ, what's up? Hey, Vet, Lauren. Hello, Rashonda, Sharon. People are just gonna start tuning in one by one, trickling in piece by piece. But make sure you let your friends and family know that we are on right now. Now, Livid. Let's not waste a whole bunch of time, okay? Because last week, heavy Daytona, some of it, and I'm just gonna say it like this, Livid. I'm just gonna say it. I don't know what the show would be without some of the action and the power that OGs like Daytona Beach brings, Richland County, the OGs that are the backbone now. Some would say, I'm not saying, but some would say of the show. I mean, do you agree or disagree with that?
Yeah, I made my proclamation in the last webcast that we did that Daytona could probably hold its own little spinoff show if you use those 5 days they aren't streaming live and put that content together. I think they could carry a show all on their own, especially with the VCAT action. People love that. The only problem with VCAT is they're so damn effective that their shots don't last long. Sometimes you watch these chases on the internet, right? And this chase is going on for like 45 minutes. You watch VCAT, it's like 6 minutes, it's over with. Apprehension done, dogs back in the car drinking water. What can you do? It's efficient.
You're right about that. Let us know how everything sounds, how everything looks. And here's what I want you to do. Tell us where you're from in the comments, in the chat section. All right. Let us know where you're visiting from. Uh okay. Okay. The years have flown by, Yvette says. I love watching recaps. Ooh, when is Volusia County going to be back on OPL? Now, listen, we're going to talk about some of that stuff. Let's not put the cart before the horse. Okay. I wonder who the first guy was who actually put the cart before the horse. How do you figure that out? He may have been Amish. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure about that.
What do you think?
I
No
don't have
comment.
an opinion on that one. I consider myself pretty intelligent, but I can't guess that. I can't get this one.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. So yeah, I mean, speaking of VCAT, yes, those guys are very effective. They're a small group, a conglomerate, if you will, of the best of the best. They're very good at what they do. Okay, okay, they're tuning in. Vegas, I'm sorry, San Diego, LA. Man, we could send VCAT to LA. That'd be wild. I don't know how that would work out for some of the Los Angelites. How do you call them? How do you say that? Los Angelians?
I think that's more like it. Yeah.
That's more
Yeah.
like it. All right. Valley Forge is in the house. Welcome, Valley Forge. Long Beach is in the house. California knows how to party. Okay, wait. I don't want to get copyrighted. Let me not do
Hmm.
that. Yes. Uh-huh. Shout out to Everett PD and our friend Danny Rebellos. What's up, buddy? I know he's out camping right now. He couldn't be with us today, but Citrus County is in the house, and we love you, Kerry. Thank you for tuning in. Now, check this out. Let's not prolong this much longer. I think some wild stuff is about to happen in October. Okay. Now, I'm not predicting, anything like wild, but I think the show is about to take a turn, and it's going to be for the better, not the worse. Hear me out now. I can't say what is happening because I don't know. Nobody has told me what's going to happen. But you start to see things like hazing popping back up for this 300th episode, and it makes you wonder. Now, we know for a fact, Livid, that Chief Taylor's coming to Daytona. Okay, spread the word. Come one, come all. He's posted it. Sheriff Chitwood here in Volusia County has posted it. He's going to be a guest of honor in Volusia County in 2 weeks. Okay, so we know that he's not going to be on the show in 2 weeks, but he pops up for this event. So one could surmise that this may be a limited time situation, also football season and things of that nature. He's hunting and all that good stuff, right? So our friend, Chief Taylor, and his crew are on this weekend. But for how long? What do you think, Livin?
I don't know. I think he offered to be a part of this big thing, and I think they said yes. I don't know if there was any back into it, but I think he's one of the thriving forces to the show right now. And I think when he walked in the studio like he owned it a few weeks ago, I think he's royalty on the show at this point. He's
Yeah.
royalty at my house. She likes him. Katie likes him better than she likes me. So
Well,
it's
that's
what it
that's her
is.
that's her favorite. There's a lot of people's favorite, and for good reason. Very good man. I was talking to him today. We were going over some things, but he's not at liberty to tell me certain things because
Mhm.
sometimes he knows, sometimes he doesn't. But I know for a fact that this was a long-awaited surprise for Hazen to be back, especially because I didn't think he'd be back until January. So for him to come back for the 300th episode, it makes you wonder who else may pop in, surprise, for the show this weekend. Who do who you want to throw a guess out there for us?
I think we could. I think maybe Berkeley. They haven't been gone long, but I think they had a pretty strong following as well. But a word that I hear behind closed doors constantly is Nye
Mhm.
County. People love Nye County.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nye County would be awesome. I mean, it's something about that desert landscape
Yeah,
and those uniforms behind that backdrop with those vehicles. Fantastic deputies working the roads and that terrain out in Nye County. I mean, think about it. You may be right because this show has taken some turns this year. Okay, I mean, they brought in Vegas, which
yeah,
was to date the largest agency that they followed. Now, some would say that Vegas may have been a bust. I don't know. We properly predicted last year that they would be on the show, and we didn't think they would be on a lot because of all the restrictions with the strip. Now, we're not going to take a victory lap on that because it's neither here nor there. However, for them, they like the West Coast. They like to give you coast to coast action.
yeah.
And we know that there's different policing in all these different areas. So could we see and Everett? Could we see a pop up from Nye County? Can we see some things that it's not on the call sheet, but hey, guess what? Boom, there may be a camera there. There may not be. There may be some videos from these other agencies, right? Some stuff they slip in on Triple Play. I mean, what do you think about that idea?
I think that, man, I have probably forgotten so many agencies that were on this show, but I think they could really dig deep into there and find something that we've forgotten about almost, that at the time, like say the Craig Miles, you know, back in the day.
Yeah.
The Sergeant Stews back in the day, Stu Bishop.
Sergeant
Those people
Stu,
were
yeah,
very
OG.
popular on the show back in the day.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think people would be delighted if they even got any little piece of, just a video like, hey, happy 300. I'm expecting a lot, Mike. I'm expecting some of those little types of. That's what you and I would do. We get a little 5-second clip for the people, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we are the men of
Go.
the people. And
There you
these
go.
are our friends. I mean, we want them on the show just as much as all the fans do. We like to see them. We love the interactions with the general public, both good and bad guys. So it's a toss up. It really is a toss up. I will say this: I do know that there were talks, okay, about. I mean, we all saw it. Dan mentioned something in one of his X posts about you know friends of the show, celebrities that may
Oh
make
yeah.
guest appearances or something for this 300th, because this is a milestone. This is the longest running live cop show on in television history. 300 episodes is a milestone. It's fantastic. And it doesn't show any signs of slowing down, which is a good thing for all of us who love the show. Would you agree?
And it could be 1,000 episodes had it never ended, right? Wouldn't it be
Easily.
like, yeah, it'd be like astronomical, like, had the other little hiccups not happened. So yeah, I think it's has a permanent place. I think it's a permanent fixture in the landscape. You
Right.
know, I don't, I, we got to think of ways in our minds, and I'm sure they're doing the same thing to like just up the game though. Like, like maybe uh, some type of remote location type things where people that we know are out in the public, meeting up with these people and doing
Yeah.
interviews. Let's go. We're available.
That's it. That's it. So I'm I'm almost willing to bet. Now, listen, I can't say this for sure, but somebody mentioned Serenity Smith. Okay, Louisiana's in the house. We love them, right? Fantastic interaction with the public, right? A fan favorite quickly, had her
Hmm.
time in the studio. Um, uh, what about extra microphones on people? I mean, you already got 8 or 9 or 10 departments, right? But who's to say that they can't throw 4 people from one department on, right? We've seen it before, even in Daytona, we've seen it. Who's to say they can't go heavier than that? I mean, it's all that they're promising is that there's going to be coast to coast, right? And there are over 50 cameras following law enforcement in real time,
Right.
right? So it could be as many as they want it to be, and that would be a welcome surprise. Um, I tell you what, I would really like a whole lot, and I'm sure all the fans in this chat right now would love this exact same thing. If they busted out with a commercial-free hour, 2 hours again, like they did for I think that might have been the 200th episode, right? Or an extra hour, just as a surprise
Oh
tomorrow
yeah.
night or something like that. I'm not saying that's happening.
It
All I'm
would be
saying is, wouldn't it
nice.
be great if that happened, people? Wouldn't y'all love that? Because I can tell you right now, I would enjoy that type of nonstop action.
Oh yeah. And you know what? I'll go you one better on an idea. How about some canine cams? How about some canine live
Ooh.
cams?
Ooh. Y'all tell us right now, would you like to see some canine cams? cameras on dogs in some of our agencies. How awesome would that be to put one of those, like a GoPro or something like that? You know what I mean? With a little microphone on there, you can hear the barking. Sweet.
Because a lot of time the cameraman's having to keep his distance from where the dog is, obviously for reasons. But if you had the side picture of the dog searching a house, searching through the woods, it'd be interesting.
Listen, I can tell you from the bottom of my heart, I love all of our canine handlers. I love canine handlers. I love dogs. I'm a big dog guy. If you're a big dog person, put it in the chat. I love dogs. Woof, woof, the pooches. You gotta love them. I mean, they're smiling even when they're aggressive. I love me a good dog. And I'll tell you what, if you put a camera on them, it's probably going to be on their back. So it's
Hmm.
not really going to show the apprehension and the viciousness of it the way some would think. So that would be an awesome, awesome vantage point for the viewer.
Yeah, and you would hear maybe a few little uh, details that you might not hear from a cameraman who's 20 feet back, 30 feet back, because a lot of times this guy rushes into the woods with a dog. The cameraman can't quite keep up. Not to mention he's got to let the backup go in before him. So you would catch little details that we miss here and there. Maybe something that's said, maybe something that happens prior to the bite, after the bite. Just saying.
Yeah, it's tons of stuff that goes on that the general public isn't abreast to because, yeah, a lot of times the cameras panning away or they're focused on something else. But you're absolutely right. That extra insight is invaluable, right? I think we see a bunch of cameos tonight too. Sorry to cut you off. What were you going to say?
Oh no, I was going to say it just seemed just last week. I think Roger was talking about how someone assaulted his canine, right? And
Yeah.
what would it be like had you seen? He described it pretty well. But what if you had seen some of that? Now you're going to see the whole thing. But if you say, "Wow, he really roughed up the dog," stuff like that in court matters a lot too. What you say and what you can prove is two different things. But when you see it with your own eyes, it's pretty incredible.
No question about that. And shout out to Roger Lawson and Ali, the OG. Ali's an old man, you know. I'm I'm speculating. I haven't been told this, but I'm speculating that Ali may be getting a little long in the tooth. No pun intended. Well, actually, pun is intended. So he may be retiring out soon. I know they all have, and you know this. Some of our people or viewers may not know this, but those dogs have an expiration date because their joints and they're all that good stuff. They just slow down a little bit. So he may be in the near future here. Do you kind of know what the general, you know, work expectancy span is for a good canine?
I really don't know. If I had to guess, I'd say probably maybe 7, 8 years. If I had to guess, but you got to realize the other thing about the dog that's the same thing in humans. The expiration date as well has to do with the emotion that you put yourself through. There's a lot of real highs, and there's a lot of real lows, and that is what puts age on your body. You know what I mean? Think about how hyped up that dog is. Go get him, go get him. He's at a 10. He's at an 11 out of 10, and then he runs after the guy for an hour, and then he lays down and goes to sleep because all that wear and tear on your body, and you have that wear and tear, so do I. It's
Yeah.
what keeps you up at night sometimes. Those adrenaline dumps that a normal person doesn't get 50 times a week wears you out, dog or not.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. The human body isn't made to have those constant adrenaline dumps. And I'm gonna tell you some little peek behind the curtain. A lot of people don't know this, but these radios, and this, they have certain alert tones. And when you're a new officer, as soon as you hear that radio key up sometime, when the dispatcher's talking to you, your heart starts to beat a little bit. But there have been studies that shown that when that alert tone hits, which means there's an emergency call, that adrenaline spikes. If you hear that it's a critical call, a violent crime or a felony taking place, that adrenaline just spikes, and now your senses are on edge. And sometimes you start getting to that place where the call is, and then you find out that it's not what it seems. So now
Mhm.
all that falls away and just drifts away. We get these feelings when we're riding roller coasters or, doing haunted houses, things of that nature where it's fight or flight. And
Mhm.
you feel that release of adrenaline. Some people even get like a bitter taste in their mouth, their heart skips a beat. You'll hear that. That's adrenaline. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think it's often overlooked thing that those dogs go through, as well as the people. That dog knows, based on the canine handler's voice, that he's going to get into trouble. And if you were going into a boxing match and your trainer was standing in the corner hitting you on the shoulders and he's saying these words to you, your mind is going to that place that it needs to go to. And that's exactly what's happened to the dog. And you know what? Every time the canine handler sends his dog in, he's going through that, like off leash. He doesn't know what's in the dark room of the dark building. So the ride is very high and very low. And I mean, you know, they need to be given a nice peaceful rest after years of that type of stuff. As
No.
myself, I needed it
Yes.
too.
Listen, us watching the show, given what I know about the show, sometimes I still find myself on the edge of my seat, like, oh, what's about to happen? Especially when we're talking about a Hazen or a Richland County or a Berkeley County, where they're prone to police chases or activity in Daytona, whether they're searching on a roof or in a barbecue grill for a guy that bailed from a car. It could be anything. They're under a car, the dog's chasing somebody, they're in the woods. All that stuff, it's not a fear of the unknown, it's just unknown. So you're on the edge of your seat. Something good is going to happen. Nothing bad is going to happen. We have seen some accidents where, like when Chief and Sergeant Dillion got into that crash. Thank God they were fine for that. We saw where the one officer was hit with the stone.
Yeah.
We didn't see the actual action of the stone, but we did see the blood run down his face. And I'm telling you right now, that's live TV.
Hmm.
That's edge of your seat, heart pounding, hair raising on the back of your neck. You don't know. This is like watching a horror film in real life, but you know it's going to turn out good.
Oh yeah, and Hazen, you know what? The thing about Hazen to me is it's always the either the most extreme or a little old lady, right? It's like there's not much in between. Like traffic stops are usually somewhere in the middle. Like the guy's a
Right,
little mouthy, but he's getting a ticket or he's getting a warning.
right.
Hazen is like either they pulled over a drug cartel from Colombia or a little old lady doesn't know her tag lights burned out. It's like it just seems like it's like way up there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, no
Like for a
question.
small town like that, they've had wilder traffic stops than a lot of mine were in these places where a million people live.
Right,
That's the crazy part about it, because
no question.
they're doing that interdiction. They know who's driving through there. Those people are just passing through, if you know what I'm saying, and they
Hmm.
know the signs and symptoms of what someone that's just passing through looks like. I'm not sure I could even do that after all the thousands of stops I've made.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I wasn't necessarily in a hub like that where they're going from East Coast to West Coast, right?
Yeah.
So you got to give them credit, man. They look. They are on the look.
Yep. You're all over it. And speaking of being along for, we thank you for being along for the ride with us. We're just going to do a quick little hour leading up to first shift because we're making some predictions here, bold predictions about the show. And we may have a bold predictions episode coming up in the future because we know this show likes to push the limits, right? So we are going to rock with you all the way until 8 o'clock. Rock with us, please, too. Let your friends know. Hey, listen, did you know that Mike Bryan and Live It are on live right now? Tune in, girl. Click that button, share it, like it. Let's go. So uh, I think walking into first shift, we will see something cool. Think about Halloween's coming up, and they had costumes on last year. I'm not saying they're going to do that this episode, but there may be fanfare. There may be, great stuff, balloons, confetti. You never know. They don't want to be self-indulgent, I'm sure about that. But I think we're going to see and hear some things such as announcements about upcoming shows and people that are rejoining the show. And that's going to be awesome. I like to see a montage of some of the greatest, you know, scenes or hits, if you will, from the show. And I think a montage like that would pay some homage to those who are currently on the show, those who have been on the show, and that would be an awesome thing. And those are very easy to piece together. What do you think about a montage?
I think it's called for. I think it's called for. Maybe a nice little one or two piece scene for all the agencies that were part of the 300. You know what I mean? Some of the ones that might be a little more forgotten. I know I'm getting a little older. I'm starting to forget some of these. I'm like, oh, they were on there. Wait, like that. I can remember the police officers that were popular. Like the Jill lady, that was Officer Jill, that was up somewhere up north, like Massachusetts or
Okay.
Connecticut or somewhere. Uh, I remember these people more than I remember the agencies. You know what I mean? You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right. If
Um,
anybody remembers her name, put that in the chat. I don't
it's
remember her
Jill
name. Yeah.
something. She's retired, I believe now.
Okay.
As is the lieutenant out in Nye County. He retired as well. Eric Murphy, I
Yes.
think.
Murphy.
So
Yes.
I remember the people more than I remember the places. But I think it would be a nice homage to give each place that took a part, because everybody got it to where it is now. You know what I mean? Especially the first ones that kept it going.
Right.
Um, a matter of fact, I heard a speculation. Someone was speculating that Richland might start the show because they were the original people that were left from the original show. There's yet
Yeah.
another one to throw out there. Christy on my Twitter is the one that threw that out there. Like, she
Okay.
expects
Christy,
that
good
something
job.
like that, the first
Okay.
agency to be on the show, to be the first agency we see tonight. So I don't know.
They are the originals. They are the original gangsters, the OGs. You are absolutely right about that. Um, I I love that, but it is a live show, so
Hmm.
they something has to be happening to capture that imagination and that attention right away for them to open the show, right? Um, you know, they don't script this stuff. They don't know what it's going to be. I'm telling you, not long from now, some agencies are recording right now. Some are getting themselves together and ready for that 9 o'clock window. But I'm telling you right now, whoever opens the show, it's going to be historic. It's going to be historic. And I can tell you, every agency on the show is fully aware that this is 300th episode. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to do anything outlandish or outside of
Hmm.
policy and procedure. But what we are going to do is go out here and try to find the bad guys, right? And whatever they produce from those interactions, I'm sure will be something that we're going to be speaking about maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, and across decades, possibly.
Yeah, and there are some limitations based on
Jill Marshall.
the sh-
Jill Marshall.
there you go. Yeah, yeah. I know she was very
Thank you,
popular
Sharon.
back in the day. Sort of like that motherly sort of figure, like there's definitely the the male energy type people, and then there's been a few people who were kind of like they don't know, they just had a uh, different kind of rhythm to the way they talk to people. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I mean, like those of us that work mostly like in bad neighborhoods, we have a certain tempata that we use to get things done. And I suppose a guy who works in Calabasas in California with billionaires probably has to have some other type of, you know what I'm saying? But
Yes.
it always seems like she was like on the brighter side of things. Uh, you know what I mean? And that's not easy to do over a career. It's really not.
No.
It's easy to be cynical and to think that people are out to get you and they're trying to screw you over. And I know I'm guilty of that as like anybody else. But it just, there's certain people you remember that just, I don't know, they just seem too happy for people to get pissed at, right?
Right. Right.
it's like it's like you can't get mad at someone like that. And I mean, and Chief Taylor's kind of the same way. Like when someone tries to turn in an ugly direction, he usually just gives more respect. He doesn't like, you know what I mean? He doesn't go down like a darker path with it. He
You
usually
don't
just
follow them
gives
down
more
that rabbit hole.
respect.
Right.
Yeah, and it's just like it usually works. Just generally works. Dealing with people.
Yep. Yep. It takes a je ne sais quoi, certain je ne sais quoi to do this job at a high level, right? And do it to the point where people know that what they're going to get with you right away. You know, it didn't take a long time to figure out who a Chief Taylor was, a Danny Brown was, a Richie Mara, people like that. It takes mere seconds, right? Because that's how impressions are made, right? The old adage always is people don't care how much you know. They don't care how much you know. They know how much you care until they know how much you care, right? And also, we will say this: there are officers on the show that are no nonsense, right? They are
Mm-hmm.
strict. They're by the book. It is what it is. One person that pops up in my memory is a Lieutenant Yacobosi from Berkeley County. You see him step out of the car with that hat, being a former trooper. You know that he's not coming to play games with you. However, he does have a softer side, being a family man, a husband with kids, things of that nature, and several years, maybe over 20 in law enforcement experience. So you've seen it all, one could say, after that time. So I can tell you, and I don't want to cut you off, I can tell you this: I haven't been doing the job that long. I've only been doing it for 14 years. But as soon as I see an officer appear on the show, mere words, I can tell what kind of guy we're getting or girl we're getting. I can tell right away. And it's usually for the better.
Yeah, I some of the people on the show, one of my absolute favorites that like on the show that if I had to, just the demeanor of the guy was the Jeff McClendon up in Toledo. To me, he
Yeah.
just was just he never he just kept it simple. I never saw him get riled up, but he didn't take no bullshit neither. You know what I'm saying? And it's
Yep.
just like the perfect type of person that I would want as my partner because I'm a little bit animated. I'm a little bit like
No
I
way.
might give you like 1,000 words and five of them are going to work, but it'll razzle dazzle you. You got to have someone to offset your personality a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Um, and it's like there are some like Booth is the same way. Booth's got his thing where he's like I ain't even playing with y'all. I got my little
That's right.
Booth thing I like to do, and he's pointing over here. There's 15 people standing over there. He's 15 people standing over there. He just looks at him. He goes, "I ain't playing with y'all," and that's it. That's all he has to say,
That's
and
it.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. That's the kind of dude I roll with. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Um,
Let me tell you something about Marcus Booth. Okay. He is an absolute character. What you see on this show is what you get from him all the time, 24/7, 365. I had a guy, and you know, I can talk about the story because there's nothing to it, but me and him were on a call one day. I just got the day shift, so I'm his partner again. And we leave this call, and I'm driving down the road, and I get to this little cut through. There's a stop sign, and a car in front of me, and a car in front of that car. And in this car, I see a young man pop out of the passenger side window with his phone. They're in a sports car, and his friend just hits the gas and spins him. He's burning out in the road. He doesn't see me because a car behind him is blocking me. And he's got his phone out the window, which is illegal, right? He's out of the car. His friend's burning up rubber, which is an issue. Okay. And off they go. Um, I don't know about when they saw me, but I go around this car and I light them up. And they start to go. And I'm like, oh, we're going to have a fleeing vehicle during the daytime? I mean, with me directly behind him, I wouldn't have been able to keep up with him, living. I'm gonna tell you that right now because this thing had a Hemi in it. Okay, I'm just driving a
oh yeah,
Ford
yeah,
Explorer, twin
yeah.
turbo something, nothing crazy, right? Little all-wheel drive joint, right? Anyway, they pull over. Surprisingly, take this little side street, which I'm not comfortable with because we never go down this side street. We never get any calls here. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, this is the perfect place because there's nobody on the street with two of them in the car to ambush me and be gone before I could even, really call out with where we are. You know that feeling. The hair on the back of your neck stands up. You're saying, I don't like this at all. Anyway, I asked for another unit, and here comes Marcus. And I walk up to the car, and there are these two students. And now we're having a conversation man to man because they're being cordial now. Oh, they're being, contrite. Oh, I'm so sorry I didn't see you back there. It's not something I always do. Throw them all the excuses out for me, right? I don't smell anything in the car. There's no alcohol. It's noon. They're just students happy to be back in school, and the driver has a new car, which is fast. Maybe he got good grades. I don't know. So his parents bought. I don't know. But Marcus comes bopping up, and I tell him what I have. Okay, and in classic Marcus Booth fashion, we get their IDs, we run their names. He says, "Mike, what you want to do? We can take folks to jail. We can tow cars. We can do all that good, search cars, do all that stuff." Or he says, I'll paraphrase, or we can read them the riot act and teach them a little something, right? You know what I'm talking about. Old school policing, right? Yes, it's a traffic misdemeanor or whatever you want to call it. We could have went that way. But no, Marcus gets one of them out in the car. We start talking to him, and then we kind of fatherly lay into these guys and tell them what we could have done. And now they're thinking to themselves, oh, I didn't know that. This changes everything. And now they're shaking, and now they're, really apologetic to the point where, a tear may or may not have been shed. Okay. But it's 95 degrees outside because it's Florida and it's noon. And I don't want to do this for much longer. So Marcus finishes doing his thing. We give him a couple warnings. The kids tell us, and Marcus drops a little line on them at the end, and off we go. So yes, Marcus is awesome, but he's the same guy, whether there's a microphone attached to his chest or a camera's behind him or not. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's my boy. I love me some Marcus. So you will be seeing him and I doing some stuff with some people here pretty soon. So stand by, y'all. Yeah. It's coming.
Yeah, we miss him on the show as well, man. It's just something about the energy it's so some people just have good energy on the show. You know what I mean? Like it flips to a scene, and you just know that they're going to turn the call into something. You know what I'm saying? Because look, you could milk the juice out of any call, especially if you're in front of the cameras. Like me and you, we're showmen. That's what we do, right? We do.
Not me. I'm not a showman.
Well, you are. Yeah. But you know what I mean. You ain't gotta spin it in a negative way, but you could just turn something into a just something that's viewable, right?
And here we are. The lineup is out. The lineup is out. All right. So let's go through this one by one. All right. So we got Christian County, Missouri, the sheriff, Brad Cole, upper left-hand corner right next to Hazen, Arkansas's own Chief Bradley Taylor. So you got 1-1 in Christian and Hazen. Okay. No extras there, which is something that you would kind of expect. You know what I mean? We know Sergeant Dillion's not there. Chief posted that some of his guys were leaving to go to other agencies. So the sheriff's office and things of that nature. So he's going to be riding somewhat solo, one mic in both of those areas. To the right of that, Clayton County, Georgia, 3 strong. Lieutenant Toombs is in the house with Deputy Whitson and Sergeant Johnson. We've seen Sergeant Johnson, obviously Lieutenant Toombs, who was a no-nonsense kind of guy. Would you agree with that?
Oh, yeah. The category that you were speaking of a few minutes ago, 10 out of 10. Like, very, very easily holds people accountable for the level of whatever it is they're doing. Mm-hmm. Now, like I said, there's different spectrums here, but I'd say I'd be worried. If the guy came to my door and looked upset, I'd be worried. I'm just saying, I ain't no little guy myself, but no nonsense is right on the head there.
Yeah, that's being gentle with those words. But hey, listen, he polices the way he has to for his area.
Exactly.
Hats off to him and his crew. Now, this is somebody we haven't seen in a while. In Richland County, we've got Master Deputy Avery Arrington back. Now, I don't know the last time I've seen him. I know he proposed. One of his biggest things is his proposal And then Master Deputy Colin Harper. Now, let's not pull any punches here. Okay. Friday night usually is, the warm up night. And then Saturday, a lot of the heavy hitters come out. Richland posted an image earlier today where Danny Brown was there celebrating the 300th episode with Addie and Garrow was there. Braylon was in the picture. Sergeant Hughes was in that photo. So I'm thinking they're coming out with the big guns for Friday night, right? Reached out to Braylon. We started talking, and he said he would not be on. So that was a little bit of a shock, maybe a little bit of a spoiler to me on tonight. So what do you think about Arrington? He's action packed, man.
Yeah, I still remember that. That seems like the last show that I remember seeing him on was the one
Yeah,
where they did that. Um, yeah, I think most of the people there are good. And you know, when you said that, I was thinking to myself, maybe some of those people are on the show because they're in New York.
yeah,
Hey, can't be two places at one time, right? I don't know. That's
that's
just what went
correct.
through my mind when you said no Danny Brown, no this, no that, no Addie, no that. It's like, wait, hang on a second here. This
They could
sounds like
be
it could
anywhere.
be a van full of people headed somewhere.
They could be.
Just
You never
saying.
know.
Because I would totally expect Chief Taylor to be in the studio if he wasn't on the show tonight. You know what I mean? Like one or the like. I don't know, I'm just saying.
Well, I'm going to say this: he's great in the studio.
Mm.
That may have been a discussion. Who knows? I don't know. But on the road, I think maybe better than being in the
Oh yeah,
studio for this 300th episode weekend.
because we all get him then. In the
Yep.
studio, they get an hour with him, and we get little clippets. But when he's on the show, we get like a good 15-minute segment with just him doing his thing. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So yeah, I agree
Right.
with that.
All right. So 9 departments being followed tonight. Baton Rouge has 4 officers there. Wheeling, West Virginia, 2 officers there. I'm not familiar with. Uh, Lee County has 2 officers. Here's a welcome surprise: Knox County, Tennessee. And we talked about this right before we started the show tonight. But Officer Christian Yuli Zangman, is that how you say it? You guys know how to
Oh man.
pronounce that? Somebody spell it out for me. Sound it out for me in writing in the chat. But she is back, and that is the officer who drew a lot of attention because excellent police work, right? And let's just call a spade, right? I don't know if that's the right terminology used for this. She's a looker, some
Okay.
might say. Okay, I heard some of the guys talking about she's beautiful. I'm Stevie Wonder. I don't know nothing. Okay,
Yeah,
I
me
can't
too.
see.
Me too.
I need your glasses, right? But
Yeah.
she also has that British accent, right? So she stood out from amongst the rest. And if you look at the original uh, OPO fan page on Facebook, they actually did an interview with her. Shout out to them for that. She talked a little bit about her background. What do you think about what we're going to see in Knox County, Tennessee?
I don't know. I hope we see some intoxicated people. You know, just doing some silly things. You know, not too silly, but like silly enough to get us some memes going. You know, because I'm all about getting some memes going with some silliness.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about, right? The silliness, the action, the fun of tonight. This is what we're all looking for, right? Rolling with us, and last but certainly not least, I can definitely say certainly not least, Daytona Beach is in the house. And when I say Daytona's in the house, I mean Daytona's in the house. You hear me? Okay. We're bringing your fan favorites back in Daytona. Okay. Starting from right to left. Sergeant Christopher Baby Marr, Chris Marr,
Oh,
the aforementioned Sergeant Marcus M. Beasley Booth is in the
oh,
house. Yes, M.
here we
Beasley.
go. He
Okay.
might be a meme tonight. He might be a live
Come
meme
on.
tonight.
Let's go. Let's get him on AI. Canine Detective, as we aforementioned, Canine Detective Roger Lawson and his partner Ali. We were just talking. Who would have thought that they'd be in the show? We were just talking about these guys, right? It's wild.
Mm-hmm.
And business in the front, party in the back. Detective Noah Galbraith, Ladies and
Oh, they're
gentlemen,
gonna be
the
happy.
lineup's out. Okay. And it's fire. Okay. We got some heat-seeking missiles all over the board tonight. And I'm thinking we're going to see something we've never seen before. Enough said, I suppose.
Okay. Okay. Well, you know what people are glad to see this week? Curtis is back. Because
Curtis is back.
you know, when Curtis is gone for a little while, speculations start and these ideas start to spin out of hand. It's like, what happened to Curtis? What happened to Curtis? And then you see some other people coming through. It's like, are they interviewing the next guy? Huh? And it's like, I don't know. But it's nice to see our boy back. That's for sure.
Yes. Yes. The ladies are screaming, Noah, Noah, Noah.
Oh,
Okay.
I
Well,
know
guess
what
what?
I know of that, Mike. I know of that.
Ask and you shall receive. Okay. That's what happens. Okay. That's what the Bible says. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and the door will be open unto you. Okay. So they're bringing the heat. 46 minutes in, about 14 minutes until first shift starts. And I believe that this pre-show tonight is going to go down in history as one of those pre-shows that are unprecedented. Okay. We've never done this before. Okay. And I make bold predictions all the time, but I don't get any of this information inside scoop wise. Okay. But we're going to talk about something in the next few minutes here. You got to stick around to hear this because I'm telling you right now, you're going to hear it here first. Now, these are predictions. All right. I'm not a soothsayer or a psychic or anything like that. But I do feel very strongly in my gut that what we're about to say could be a possibility. All right. So let's set the picture. Let's set the mood. All right. I wish you had some mood music, maybe a little Livid PD
After dark
music.
Yeah.
Maybe a little something.
Oh yeah.
To get comfortable to. I don't know. I guess we don't have anything. But if we did have something, it would be fantastic.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next time. I don't know. So anyway, we don't have any music. So here's what I'll say. Daytona's lined up for some fantastic things. This week is an event weekend. We have an HBCU in town. They're having homecoming this weekend. Generally draws thousands of people from all over the country, some internationally, to Daytona Beach. Okay. You mix that with a 300th episode. What can possibly go wrong? I don't know.
Everything.
Okay. I have no idea.
Everything.
But bigger than that, and you can speak to this, next weekend, Biketoberfest 2025.
Oh,
and I know there were some rumors during Bike Week of this year about some special guests and appearances, and it didn't come to fruition. I don't know what's going to happen this year for Biketoberfest. I don't know. I don't know who may pop in town.
I have to head over to Daytona.
I don't know who may make a comeback or a cameo appearance on the show. I don't know. I have no idea who it could be. But Daytona is ripe for the picking. Okay. It's about time that this little town of Daytona Beach, this little city, bust this thing wide open and we do something that's never been done before. People are saying all this stuff about how Daytona can carry the show. We're not here for that. We're just law enforcement, professional public servants that are doing our job day in and day out, going to calls, helping citizens out, pushing cars out of the road, right? Getting kittens out of trees sometime, if you will. In fact, we got an iguana the other day. I posted that. I got a picture of that somewhere. A gigantic iguana. And Daytona's not known for iguanas. There's a down south invasive species, but neither here nor there. But we are ready to host whatever we need to host in this town because we do special events right. I don't think any agency in the country does special events quite like Daytona. So if there were a remote guest, that'd be fantastic. I'd love to see it. If there was a little studio set up in Daytona, that'd be fantastic. I think people like to see that. If somebody from Daytona were to be infield correspondent for the show next week. That would be awesome. I like to see that.
Oh yeah, me too.
You know, you get the real life Biketoberfest Main Street experience, you know, uh, live and in living color right here. I don't know what may happen. If there's a dual studio setup, if there was something very cool like that, if there were some crazy drone shots, would you like to see that? Is that something that you guys would be interested in? Because the show needs to know what you guys want to know, what you want to see.
Yeah.
You know, that commercial free hour was all a fan, request. Talk to me, Living.
Yeah.
And what am I missing here?
You know what I'd like to see too, if they couldn't do an hour straight, is just give you uh, commercials at will, where there's a good scene going and they have to break away to pay for the bills. Let that scene go another 6 minutes and then hit that commercial further back down the line. It'd still get it in there, but like, because I know it drives me crazy when somebody's getting chased and like, oh, we need to switch over to a Colgate commercial. I'm like, hold on a second, man. You know, so like get the commercial in there somewhere, but just maybe slide it back and forth.
Yeah,
got to be a way to accommodate a really really good scene.
I agree. And let's not even pull any punches here. I wasn't even done with the month, as DJ so eloquently put. The weekend after that is the Blue Tie Gala.
Mm,
And as I mentioned earlier in the show, OPL's own Chief Bradley Taylor will be in Daytona. And I'm not even going to speculate on this. I will be with Chief Bradley Taylor the entire weekend. So stand by for some fantastic footage and images, because we've been talking about this thing and Live It may pop up. Some other people may pop up. I don't know who's going to be here. I don't know. But I can tell you this, the show is off that weekend.
yep.
So I don't know who may pop up and be in town.
Hey, I'm in striking distance. You let me know what's going on. Give me 2 hours, 3 hours. I'm
Come
gonna
on.
show up.
Open invitation for you and Katie. Bring the family. Let's do this. I don't know. I can't speculate about these things, but I can tell you this. The show is groundbreaking. They have some very wise minds in studio. And sitting and talking to some of these people, they absolutely know. They have the heartbeat and the pulse of the nation when it comes to this show. And they are going to do everything they can. Think about what happened this year. You've never seen this. I've never seen this until this year. I had never even heard of Crime Con. And the
No,
host of
neither.
the show left the confines of the studio and sat on the stage and answered questions for over an hour and interacted with people for an entire weekend or however many days they were there, right? And people got to see that these guys are genuinely who they are. And I'm telling you, they are genuinely who they are. Okay. We're
People want
constantly trying to
access.
say it again.
The people want access, and that's what they were
Pe-
given, right?
They need access,
Yeah.
right? They need it. They want it, right? They got to have it, and they're going to get it. When? It's not up to me. I don't make those decisions. But if I had to speculate, I say it's coming to a TV screen near you sooner rather than later.
Mm.
Guys, we appreciate you guys for joining us, for popping in and spending some time with us. OPL Recaps. We are the Men of the People. This is the People's Podcast. Family sends their love. Jimmy sends his love. The entire OPL Recaps crew sends their love. We want to answer some questions if you have them. And we want to take the next couple minutes to talk about a couple of things that may be interesting to you. I want to say this one more time. I'm not paid by the show. They're not a sponsor. Whatever we post, that's independent of Reels and Peacock and the show and Big Fish Production. All that has nothing to do with. We have nothing to do with any of that. Okay, so we are independent contractors here. Okay. We just come in like mercenaries, social media mercenaries, and give you what you want, what you need. Okay.
We're just two dudes chopping it up like all the rest of everybody on X is doing. It's just now we can maybe like get you involved with it.
That's it.
Me and Mike
This
are gonna
is-
text each other and talk it up, and we, oh, did you see that? Did you see that? That's what we do.
Yeah. That's what we're doing half the time, going back and forth talking about this is awesome. Well, I will say this. I'm very proud to have been a part of the show. For the 2 years that I was the run that we had on the show. I'm extremely proud that I made so many friends in other areas, not just fans, but friends, right? From other agencies, from other parts of the country, even as far as people coming from different countries and visiting me here in Daytona Beach. I never shared this on the podcast, but we did have a post on my other X page before it got broken, about a family that came all the way from England, right? And met me in the lobby of our police department. And they brought something very nice to me. If you talk to anybody on the show, and Livy, you know how this goes. They get their favorite fans, and fans are favorites, and this, that, and the other. And they bring stuff. One of the best gifts I ever got, besides my patrol car with my name on it, she Taylor got one too. But it's this hat right here. I'm going to show y'all this real quick before we go. Go ahead, Livy. Tell the people something nice while I go get this hat.
Oh man, I didn't even know about this hat, man. Feel a little ripped off. But yeah, we're happy to get people involved. Maybe the day will come where I can talk Mike into letting some people in here with us to chat from some of the people. We'll bring some civilians in here and get a different point of view one day. What do you got there, buddy? Uh-oh. It's a bobby hat. Isn't that what they call it?
Yeah, man, the bobby hat.
Oh boy, that's pretty cool. Is it for real? For real?
It's for real, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, man, this is legit. I love this thing. Metropolitan Police.
That's wild. Much better than the hat I got. You see a state trooper getting out of their car with that thing on? No way.
All right. Listen, it's been fun. Love you guys. 3 minutes to the show time. Yes, indeed. So let's do our thing. Let's make it epic tonight. Okay. Twitter, we're gonna be watching. We're gonna be posting some stuff. We love you all. Send us questions for the next show. Live it. I appreciate you popping in, buddy.
No problem, Mike.
We will
Catch you
talk
later.
to you all later. Love y'all. Peace.
24 got you out there, and 25 got you out there also.